Hi, I'm Susan, and welcome back to my kitchen. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. So today we're going to make brown butter. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, what in the world is brown butter? Brown butter is when you take a regular butter and you melt it down and you cook it until it's just about to the level burnt. Now, this is right before you would classify it as burn butter. And what you would use this butter for is when you're making something like gourmet cookies and you want them to have that golden glow on the top and little peaks of golden. This helps make it become that picture perfect type of gourmet cookie. So let me get into it and show you how to make it. It's real simple. We're going to start with 1 cup of butter. Okay, we're going to start with 1 cup of butter. We already put it in. We have it on a medium to low heat, and we're going to just let this melt. So this takes about 10 to 15 minutes to do, depending on how well your stove heats up and stuff. And this is not something you can put on the stove and walk away from. You really have to pay very close attention to this, or you're going to have a cup of burnt butter. Now, this is something that I've been seeing in recent recipes, so I thought I would give it a whirl. And it's also something that you're going to make like the day before you make the recipe. So you're not trying to do this because you have to heat it up and cool it back down in order to put it into the recipe. So you want to do this ahead of time. So we're just going to let this butter melt. We are starting to melt. You can hear it starting to get to the boiling point, or starting to crinkle and boil around the sides. Now, the first thing that you'll notice is you get this foamy type of topping on the butter. And you just want to start stirring this because you really don't want this to burn. At the price of butter, you don't want to waste a whole cup of butter. So we're going to just stir that and keep stirring it. And you'll watch the butter change. Right now it's pretty frothy, but that is going to change. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. It's already starting to boil, if you see it around the sides, but we're still making this frothy topping. So we just want to keep watching it. And it's going to take different changes. Now, I will tell you, this looks really different depending upon what type of butter you use. Now, the other day when I made it, I used a different type of butter, and it looked so much different because there were chunks of that butter still floating around in here. Now, this is moving along really quickly. I'm going to turn this fire down a little bit because it's just moving a little bit too fast for me. And now this is a higher grade of butter, and it's totally different. There is none of that hanging on type of butter. And a lot of people have told me that they've noticed a change in the texture of butter through their baking. So we're just going to keep watching this. As you can see, it's starting to take a different appearance. The foam is going to go away, and you're going to get a more clear type of product. And you can see the butter is the foam. You can see the foam is starting to dissipate, and we're getting more of a clear. It's starting to bubble all over, which is great. But you want to keep watching it and keep stirring. It's completely broken down. We're still boiling. You'll know when you're starting to get close. You can see the butter starting to turn like a golden color, and you can smell it. It takes on a different smell. Some people say it's a very nutty, like hazel type of smell. I must have a bad smeller because I don't really smell it in that way. But we're still not there yet. Okay, so now when I pull this up, you see these little brown speckles? That's when you know you're done. You want to shut off the heat. You want to make sure you have a heat-proof bowl, and you're going to pour it in. Now, see that color? And that, you want that. That's what you're after, is that brown speckles. So you want to make sure you get all of that into your butter. And we're not quite done with this. We're going to let this cool, and we'll get back to this in a little while. Okay, so when I put this butter in the refrigerator and I wanted to mix it so the brown mixes in with the clear, and this is what you end up with. Now you can either, if it's good and cold enough, you can use this in your recipe now, or you can just store that and use it later. You can store this for about 5 days in your refrigerator and about 3 months in the freezer. And that's how you make brown butter.